Serving the community.
A very good morning to you. This is Tasha right here on Gloucester's GFM Soul Solutions. The time is just after 9 o'clock on Sunday, the 15th of May. A beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. And as promised, we have our guests here in the studio. We have John and Gordon, and they are two of the directors of the City Academy. It's in Gloucester. It's a new free school with primary and secondary combined places, and it's planned to open in the city centre next year. So we have them here with us this morning to talk about the school, to share their vision of the school. And of course, if you want to text or email or phone in, you are more than welcome to do so. The numbers are, the telephone number 546400, your text number 666, or email, which is far easier for me. Your email address is studio@Gloucester.fm. So we're going to be asking a few questions. We hope it will cover the information that those as parents would really like to have, and for those who have children like myself. And if it doesn't, then by all means, just come straight in and give us a call, contact us in any way, shape or form you like. So we'll start off then asking...
I'll go first if you like.
Okay, it's Gordon, yeah? Okay. So Gordon, give us just a brief outline, please, if you can, of the vision that you're having for this school.
Yes, certainly, Tasha. It's going to be a free school, which is a brand new concept in Britain. It will be for 0 to 19s. It will be right in the city centre. It's going to be governed by city churches, but funded by the government, with a strong Christian ethos, reaching out to and involving the community and relying on its help to ensure that all our youngsters do the best they can.
So let me ask why then to have the school actually in the city centre?
Well, you know, Natasha, I've lived in Gloucester for 27 years, so you can tell I don't come from here by my accent, but I love this place. You know, when I look at what's happened in the city centre and the closure of so many community schools, it really grieves me. The children who were the least well served by the schools in the city are the ones who live right in the city centre, where there's more poverty, more deprivation. And it just doesn't seem fair. You know, they closed Hatherley Girls' School, Long Levens Secondary School, Linden Secondary School, Colwell Girls' School. They've all closed, and the schools which are now within easy walking distance of the city centre are all grammar schools. And it's just not fair on the kids who live in the city centre who may not be academic. So we want to put something right back into the city centre so that the kids who live here don't have to get a bus all the way out to Brockworth or Newent or Churchdown, but there's something run by their community right where they live.
Okay, so let me ask them, what will make this school stand out? What's going to be the difference? I mean, I fully agree with you. We are grammar heavy in Gloucester, and they cream off the best of the best, and then unfortunately you have this situation where your other schools are set up not to succeed as well as. So what will make this school different?
John, do you want to say about the 0 to 19? That itself is going to be very, very different for the city.
And maybe if you could maybe explain to us what 0 to 19 is.
Basically, we're going to open with all year groups between reception and year 8. So that's basically right from the bottom, right to top. Reception all through to sixth form is the 0 to 19 part. As I say, we'll start with the reception in year 8, but gradually expand to have baby facilities, a nursery, and then ages 4 to 16 school and the sixth form. It will be there for the children in the city centre for the whole of their life until adulthood.
Okay, super. And as I've said, if you want to ask any questions, by all means, please text, call or email. You know the numbers, you know the address. It would be good, especially for those parents of children who would like their child to go to an inner city school. One of excellence would be fantastic. So back to the questions then, John. So let's ask them, where is this school going to be? You've spoken about it being in the city, easily accessible for parents and for students. So where's it going to be?
Well, we're currently in negotiations for quite a prominent building in Brunswick Road, but it's early days yet. But that is the ideal place, bang on in the city. Okay,
that would be super. That will save a lot of parents money on their bus passes and on petrol and the inconvenience of trying to bus out. You know, I work at a school in Gloucester, and I think 90% of our students are bussed in. It just seems a ridiculous situation. And also when you were speaking about how the grammar schools alienate lots of our own students. You know, when I used to work at the academy, you would see students who live on that road walking away from the academy to catch a bus to go to another school. It's just not a fair system.
No, well, I've seen, Natasha, often in the mornings in the rush hour, you can go down any main road in Gloucester, and on one side of the road, the kids from the neighbourhood are going out in one direction, maybe to Newent. On the other side, they're catching the bus to Brockworth or Churchdown, or they're cycling past to go to Gloucester Academy. It's crazy. It doesn't do anything for communities.
No. And then all the kids are coming in from somewhere else to go to all the grammar schools. So tell me then, in what way would the school have a Christian ethos?
Well, because the church will be a faith school from the outset, meaning that it's governed by the churches, and that we adhere to, you know, the basics of the Christian faith. It means that we can recruit Christian teachers, which is a very important thing for us, that the staff that children meet on a day-to-day basis share their faith. There's going to be an unashamed well, we're not going to ram it down people's throats, because we don't want to put anyone off. This is a school for the community. We are obliged by the government, if we get the funding, to admit 50% of the children from local churches and their families, and 50% from outside the Christian community, which suits us fine. We want to share what we've got because we think it's so great. We hope that there'll be a very obvious and caring ethos, with children having to see less teachers than they would in normal schools, where they see up to 13 teachers at secondary school. We want to establish very trusting and caring relationships right from the outset. Okay, super. So one more question before we go on with a little bit of, with the break rather. How will the community, or how do you want the community to be involved? Well, one of the key things for us is that right from the outset, we've got backing of local churches, and these are involved amongst the directors and the governors. The 8 directors of the company are all from local churches, and these churches are Gloucester Community Church, which meets at St Luke's on Stroud Road, the New Testament Church of God on Stroud Road, the Church of God of Prophecy in Melbourne Street, and one of our directors and one of the governors comes from City Church, opposite the hospital. Now, the governors will be from the local churches as well, and we just really believe that if the churches in the city underpin the school and are stakeholders, that the community around these churches will also recognise that they have a stake. You know, a prominent member of the Black Afro-Caribbean community told me a couple of weeks ago, he said one of the problems for his community is that parents just don't trust the schools. They just don't feel that they have a say in them, that they own them, that they have a stake in them. And we want to change that. We want the Black Afro-Caribbean community to really know that they have a massive stake in this school and that it's for them. We hope that people will come in and volunteer to help in lessons and share their skills, maybe in music and art and craft and gardening and DT and all sorts of things, that they could come in and really get alongside the kids, knowing that it's their school. Of course, we have to follow safeguarding rules, and people will have to be CRB checked if they're coming in on a regular basis. And we would even ask that members of churches, you know, come with a letter of introduction from their pastor. But we want that to enable it to run smoothly, and we welcome contributions. We hope it will be a community school unlike any other in the city. So this really will be a community school. Absolutely. With unreserved acknowledgement that we serve Jesus Christ, and that we want our children to know that he is the way, the truth and the light. One of the nice things about being 0 to 19 is that, you know, my wife used to volunteer at our son's primary school. She used to go in and help in the class. And it was a really nice and trusting relationship. But when our sons left and went to secondary, that all stopped. And many parents of secondary school children feel they're not welcome past the gate, that it's very hard to get involved. The secondary schools seem to not need them. But when you're a 0 to 19 school, you know, we get to know those kids in creche, nursery, infants, and their parents, and build up a trusting relationship, and we want that to continue all the way through to sixth form. And I don't think many parents in this city can even really imagine how nice that will be for them and their families. So we did have somebody call in, Gordon, and they wanted to know if you are only recruiting
professional staff, i.e. professional teachers, or if jobs will be open for other positions, and if so, when and how can they apply?
Okay, that's a great question, and it's nice to know there's interest already in working at the Academy. Well, if we get funding, it will be from this September, and then we will start to recruit in the year leading up to the opening of the school. But when we open, although we're opening from reception to year 8, we'll only be admitting about 10 children per year, making 90 in total. Then we'll be just doubling, just a bit more than doubling the following year, and expanding year by year up to full capacity of around 450, with a sixth form in 2016. Now, each year, of course, as we expand, we'll be recruiting more staff, office staff, admin. Everyone that works in the school will need to function as a fully working school. The website is up and running already. We have a web page, which is www.cityacademygloucester, all one word, .co.uk. So that's City Academy Gloucester. Now, when we're recruiting, we will be posting job adverts on the website, and we'll be spreading it by word of mouth. And although we'll be recruiting Christian teachers, we welcome applications from everyone in the community, especially for non-teaching posts.
Okay, super. So it's not going to be alienating people of different faiths or different backgrounds?
Absolutely not. We want it to be fully inclusive, but because we're a church school, we need teachers who will support that ethos.
Super, super. Okay, so also another question is, will the children learn just what they do at any other school, or will there be a difference in your curriculum?
Well, we've got a great opportunity because the free schools are academies, and they operate outside the national curriculum. But we still have to offer a broad and balanced curriculum, and we want to start, with a clean slate and have the best of the different types of curricula which are available. One of the challenges to us is this: how can we engage pupils a bit more than they are in some of the city schools, and have the best of where pupils really are engaged? I was really struck by a child psychologist who says in the book Raising Boys that a lot of boys who are disengaged at secondary school is because they have too many teachers and they never really get to know anyone. And he recommended that no boy really, and he was focusing on unsettled and sometimes naughty boys, he said that they shouldn't really have more than 5 teachers.
Okay.
What we want to do is have part of the curriculum which is accelerated, which students work on independently at their own pace, and so we're planning that they will do maths, English and humanities at their own pace, independent study led by their form tutor, so they'll spend up to 2 hours a day with a class teacher just like a primary school.
Okay.
So it'll be a really nice cosy relationship that they keep year on year, that the teacher moves up through the school with them, but that they go to science, music, languages, DT, etc. with specialists. So we've got a good mixture. You'll come out to the school, we hope, with an internationally recognised certificate and qualification in English, Maths and Humanities, and GCSEs in the others. So you've got a good combination which is acceptable to employers and universities.
There's some very exciting times coming up for Gloucester then.
Oh, yes.
It sounds very exciting, and we're going to press on. We have our guests, John and Gordon, here with us this morning, coming in talking about the academy, the new academy that will be opening in September 2012. And I've had a couple of emails in, one in particular from Chris, and he says, I'm listening again with excitement to this awesome, inspirational proposal. Everyone needs to get behind this idea. We don't want any questions of if or if might. This needs to be something that will be coming to the city of Gloucester. An educational establishment with positive values that looks at the needs and not the abilities only, and ensuring that everyone can be encouraged to reach their full God-given potential, whatever it might be. Also, as is being said, it will be closely linked to all diverse sections of this city community. Nobody will need to feel alienated. Thank you, Chris, once again for your faithful support to the show and to GFM on a whole. So, Gordon, going back to what we were talking before, I know you missed a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful for that email from Chris, and it's what we're all about. We want education to ignite our children, not turn them off. There are too many kids who go to school because they have to. We want to see kids outside the door before it opens, not standing there with their arms folded on the door half an hour after the bell's gone. And I think one of the things we have to do is find out what kids really care about. I don't want kids to turn up and get processed by school. We shove them in one end, like a ball of meat, and they come out the other end processed into sausages, and they've gone through the GCSE factory. Oh, nobody wants that. If you're able and you can get 13 GCSEs, that's fine, we'll get them for you. But if that's not for you, we'll find you other things to ignite you. We'll let you try horticulture and gardening, animal care, local history, even at secondary level, not just primary. You'll get a chance to do all sorts. So, we need the community behind us. That's absolutely essential for us to prove and demonstrate to the government that there is demand, because without the demand, we just won't get the funding.
So this truly is a very exciting time in the time of the city of Gloucester. So what do you need us to do to help you?
Okay, well, this is how our listeners and people who aren't even listening can help if they hear about it. We want you to pray. Pray for us. Pray for the 8 directors from the different churches. Pray for the board of governors that we're establishing at the moment from the diverse churches in the city. Pray that we can get the names that show the demand. Tell your church pastors, if they're not involved, that you would like them to be backers of this as well. Tell the church about the venture so that they will want to send their children. Tell the city council too. They control the planning. They have the final say on whether we actually get the go-ahead in Brunswick Road or not. But the most pressing need in the next 2 weeks, and that is our deadline, is that we must present to the government the names of 100 parents of children aged 3 to 11 who would consider the school an option. We're not asking people to sign up. All you have to say is that you would consider it one of your options for your child for September 2012. Now, you've already given a text number. There's an email address here as well, and there's a phone number. People can do that now. We only need your name as a parent, not the child's name, the parent's name, your postcode, and the age of the child or children, plus whether you attend church yourself or not. So if you can give us those details and tell your friends and family to do the same, that will help us enormously. But John is here as well, and he's going to tell you 2 other places where you can find the info.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually find us on Facebook. We have now a page set up. If you just type into the search engine City Academy Gloucester and then just follow the link, that will bring the group Facebook page up.
Okay.
Also, as Gordon said before, there is the website where you can sign up, and that is www.cityacademygloucester.co.uk, and City Academy Gloucester is all one word.
So our job then now as people living in Gloucester is simply just to register an interest. We're not signing up, we're not committing to the school, but we're just showing that there is a genuine interest to attend the school.
Yes, and it has to be from parents of school-aged children, and then the government will give us the funding. And if there's anyone listening who can volunteer to help us to collect names by going to parks maybe in the city and talking and engaging with parents, we need people over the next fortnight only to collect names from us. We can give you the sheet and a clipboard and a pen.
Okay.
We just need people who will really help us engage with parents, churchgoers and not. And so contact the show or register on the website if you can be a volunteer to help us get these names in by the end of the month. Thank you very much.
Just please remind us of the website address again.
www.cityacademygloucester, all one word, .co.uk.
Okay, that's super, Gordon. Gordon, John, thank you very much for your time this morning. I pray that God will allow, let me be sounding corrected, I know God will allow, okay, Chris, I know that God will allow it to come to fruition because it's for His glory rather than our own.
Serving the community.